Alright, I got about 15 pictures, I think, that I'm gonna go through. Some of them are not so good. Some of them I'm kind of proud of. I start with this one here. This one I got obviously low down. There's a bird here sitting sitting in some water. And this was taken with the Sony 6400, I think. Yeah, I think Sony 6400. Let me see if I could find the information. At yeah, 6400, 18 to 135 lens, variable aperture. So I haven't done anything to this just yet. Let's just start with auto. That already looks better. And then we'll try to align it. In Lightroom, you can do it auto with the auto setting. I guess that looks better. Then we gotta crop it in though, so that those ugly white bits that are not in it. So let's crop this in. Yeah, I guess that looks better. Okay, actually that does look better. It does. All right, what else can we do? Let's increase the contrast a little bit. We can raise the exposure just a tiny, drop the blacks, drop the shadows, and we'll pick the oranges just to make them a little bit more saturated. Let's pick the color, which is, where is it again? Here it is. Let's pick some of these autumn leaves to make them a little bit more saturated. Okay, that looks good. And then we can pick the brown on the bird. Just make it pop a little bit more. Okay, interesting. All right, that looks good. That's the original. That's the improvement. Original. That's the improvement. I think that looks good. We're gonna leave that. All right. And we got this dingbat here. This absolute goof that's taking a picture of himself on near a pond. Absolute dingbat. I think I like this picture better. Yeah, not sure. I like this one better, but it's out of focus. I was using my phone to shoot remotely, and I put it on timer, I think. I couldn't run out here because I wasn't sure how stable this is. But with Lightroom, you can switch the focus. Let's try to do that real quick, which is lens blur. Apply. It's gonna try to estimate the depth. So you can see that the focal plane is right here. Let's see what we can do to change that. Nothing. It doesn't allow me to do anything, which is interesting. I don't know why. I can't make any changes to this one. Maybe there's not enough information. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps that's it. I still kind of like it. Has a nice reflection here of the little walkway and this dingbat's feet in the water. But let's look at the before and after. That looks better. But because I can't change the focus, which I think it would have been nicer if I could get my whole self in focus. This one I happen to get in focus. Let's see what we can do with this one as far as editing. Let's first do auto. Actually, that looks pretty cool. And what will the system do if I try to align it? Nah, I prefer how it was. Well, I guess it's not too bad. All right, and then I like how it was before. As shot. Okay, and then let's drop some of the blacks down on this stuff because we're not interested in over here. And I think the exposure is fine. We can fix the white balance. I see. But it was sunset though. This makes it look like it was in the middle of the day, but it was sunset. So I prefer the yellow tint on here because if we put it to auto, it gets a little cooler. And then here it's a little warmer. I prefer it, I prefer the as it is right now. All right, so let's see if we can pick a color. And let's pick this here. Make that pop a little bit more. And then, I don't think you can saturate gray, can you? Let me see. What does that do? No, can't really saturate gray. And then I think I like this as is. So let's see what it looks like before and after. Yeah, I like that. All right, everybody here that you see in the picture, by the way, I asked permission to get their photos. So let's do this one. This lady was walking with her dog, or the dog was walking with his owner. I guess that's the same thing. I don't know. Let's drop the shadows and then drop some of the highlights and the exposure. Actually, I'm not too happy with this picture because I'd have to crop out the top a little bit. I think that's closer to a better framing, I think. If I wanted to, maybe I could select subject. It's detecting people. All right, so we got this lady. And we can brighten her face. Let's do facial skin. And then we'll do her teeth. This is so cool that you can do this with Adobe. And then we can brighten her face just a little bit. That's crazy. That's not good. That's not good either. All right, so let's try to brighten her face a little bit. Okay. And then with her teeth, apparently, I think you can whiten teeth. What happened? That's not good. Let's take this back to how it was. Let's just do her face first. Create a mask and then just lighten her face a little bit. What does that do? Yeah. And then we can select eyes. Let's select the dog. Can we select the dog's eyes to make some changes? Let's see. Select people. No, we can't. But I don't want to get into the I guess I could paint the dog's eyes in, but you know what? It's fine as it is. It's fine as it is. Okay. This one, I wish there was something here to focus on. Because right now it looks like I'm focused over here, I think. And this was taken with the same camera and lens combination. Is it? No, this was taken with the A7R III with a macro lens. So it's a pretty sharp lens, really sharp lens actually. But I wish there was something here or someone to focus on. All right, so this is trash. We can get rid of this. And then this one I think was a cool picture. I wanted to see if I could recover some of the shadows here and perhaps switch the focal plane. Let's see what we can do first with auto. We'll have to raise the exposure, raise the shadows, raise the exposure even more. You can see most of the histogram is over here on the left. Let's raise the exposure even more. Okay, so a lot has been recovered. That's fantastic. Okay, and then what can we do about the focal plane? Let's see. Focal plane. Gotta see if we can do lens blur. So it's estimated depth. Do your thing, Lightroom. Do your thing. All right, so this still does not allow me to change anything, unfortunately. Maybe there's not enough depth information. I assume that's it. But right now it looks like it's focused on, I'm not even sure where it is because these aren't sharp. Maybe these leaves, I'm not sure. All right, that turned out to be trash. All right, and this was taken in Boston. I thought it was pretty cool how this mannequin was just positioned right here in this. Looks like an S, but must be some of the symbol for the store. Not sure what it is, but it's what we can do for auto. I guess if we wanted to narrow the focus to the mannequin, which I think is pretty clear what it is already, but let me just make it darker. Maybe some vignetting, maybe that would work. Let's try that. Yeah, some vignetting. And then that would, here we go. Let's do vignette, nope, let's do it this way. That's good. Yeah, I like that. I wish I'd gotten closer, but maybe like this, like some things or someone's watching you. Maybe didn't need all of this up here, so maybe I can crop that off. Let me crop the top off, crop this off, then take this in, leave her smack dab. She's a central figure, so we'll just put it like that and see what it does. Okay, I think I like this. Which lens was this? This is the Sigma 56 1.4 on the 6600. I like that. All right, so we can also do some noise reduction. This, because right now it's kind of grainy. Let's see what we can do with noise reduction, just to make it a little better. Let's generate a preview. It's incredible what Lightroom can do. All right, let's move to a different section. That's insane. Insane. And this is at 45, right? I could go all the way up, but let's do it at 45 and see what difference it makes. Still going at the top here. This was a fun night. I just went out to take some pictures just to see what I can get. I saw all kinds of interesting things. And with a fast lens, 1.4 Sigma, I can get all kinds of stuff. It basically in dark conditions. Got some really good pictures. All right, so that looks so much better. That's crazy how that is. Insane. Let's see. I like that. When you crop in, you lose, you get the graininess or the noise becomes more apparent. But that looks good. Now we can make it even less noisy by closing up the dropping the shadows and the blacks and so on. I like that. Okay, moving on. Moving on, same kind of picture. This one, I like how this guy was positioned. I just happened to get him walking away, just like his line here. I wish I had done more as far as framing, but I don't know this guy. Actually, I didn't ask his permission either for this guy. I just saw him and I thought he looked cool, and I just snapped a picture of him as he was walking away. And let's see if we can align that to make it a little bit more stylish. Let's do, yeah, he just looks so stylish here, man. Maybe there could have been something I did with the frames of this building here. There's just too much going on, too much. So maybe if I crop it out, or maybe if I had zoomed out, maybe. Let's try to put him like this. Give him less room at the back. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And I don't like the color, the white balance on here, so let's do that. That looks better. What if we did it in black and white? Let's see. Interesting, kind of. All right, and this is another picture of, I think this is, I don't know what street this is. Is it Berber Street? I think so. Ah, noisy city. No noise, noisy city. Okay, so let's drop the shadows back. We don't need to see this guy. We don't need to see this guy. It's dark, it's night. This was the part I thought was interesting. How these lights converged, and they already had Christmas lights up. And this I thought was pretty cool of the church here. So even though nothing has been done, you can see the noise in the background. Let's see what it does. I'm basically going to raise the shadows. It did. So let's drop the shadows back. And I wished I had on a lens hood to block out some of this light over here. Or I just turn the camera just ever so slightly to the right. Or if I had a zoom lens, I could zoom in. In any case, let's drop the highlights a little bit. Nah, and even if you crop it, the light bleed is still going to be there. This framing doesn't seem too great though. Yes, it's obvious that this is I think it's obvious that this is the focal point of the picture, but there's just too much going on in my opinion. I mean, what's all this happening here? Still working on that. All right, I like this picture. I like this picture because of the steam coming out of the road. And I had another one with someone walking by, but it was just too busy. So I preferred this with the steam coming out on this bend part of the barrier. And the car lights in the back. Let's see what we can do. Okay, I kind of like it as is. I wouldn't do much of that. I like it as is. I really do. Really focused. If we drop that a little bit, because it is night after all, and then we can denoise it. Oh, let's see if we can change the focal plane for this one. Let's see. Still doesn't let me do it. Let me see. It doesn't let me do it. Maybe somebody has to be in the picture? That's interesting. Doesn't let me change anything. Okay. Okay. Let's try to denoise it and see what we can do. It's doing its thing. I think this was a better picture than the one with the people walking across, because there were too many people and I didn't want to seem weird. I mean, weirder than I already seemed sitting on the sidewalk with a camera taking pictures of steam. But I think it would have been weirder just sitting there waiting for someone to walk by. I don't know. I think it was cool as it is. So let's see what the before and after looks like. Yeah, you can see more detail in the steam right there. This is the before, that's the after. And what was this shot at? You would imagine it was a narrow aperture, but I don't think so. This is with f2.8. f2.8. Okay. And this lady, I think, was interesting face. I like her hair color, and she graciously agreed for me to take her picture. I took a couple pictures of her, and she just I preferred this one. Her looking over her shoulder. Really, really cool. Let's drop the shadows down a little bit. What does black and white look like? I like that too, you know. And I'm gonna raise exposure back a little bit. And her face is a little yellow, but I think that's a reflection of the light around her. Yeah, I think I prefer that. And then what else can we do? We can select her eyes. Just gonna play with this stuff to see. We can select her eyes. Wow. And then we will go eyebrows. I mean, I don't like to edit all this stuff, but let's see what we can do. And then we will pick, is that the sclera? I think that's a sclera. And then we can do enhance eyes. Okay. And we'll do eyebrows. What's that do? We can do darken, guess. And then we will do, I hope it's not messing it up, iris and pupil. enhance eyes. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see the before and after. Uh, so that's before, that's after. I kind of like the eyes of the after, but prefer the eyebrows before. That's after, that's before. All right. Next one, I think this was a highlight of the evening as far as pictures. Just up the street from this theater was this guy playing this trumpet, and he sounded fantastic. And he graciously agreed for me to take his picture. And there's not much I could need to do with this one. I just like the juxtaposition of so much talent, but yet he was outside the theater. And I couldn't pick between which one I wanted. If I wanted this one where the name of the theater was in focus and he wasn't, or the one where he was in focus and the theater name was out of focus. But it's taken with, I think this is a Sigma. So ISO 5000, wow. 50, Sigma 56 at f2.8. It's not even the widest aperture, right? And you can see everything. Can you read these words? Let me see. I guess you could. Let's see what we can do for editing for this one here. So we would definitely drop the blacks, drop the shadows, increase the contrast. And then I guess we could make his hat. Now we don't need to mess with his hat. That's the color of his hat. Let it be. And then we could drop the highlights right now because, yeah, I like that as it is. I was gonna say because I wanted to be sure that this guy was the focus of the picture, but it should be clear he's in front. So I think if I had to pick, I'd pick this one because with this picture, it might be tempting to start now looking over here at everything that's going on. If all of this was gone, maybe. But with him in focus, then the only other thing that might draw your attention would be the light from this sign. Great picture, and a cool sport to allow me to take his picture. All right, another couple of days of shooting. Good practice.